loves, Sister Boy here, and I am in Sacramento for a breastfeeding conference, and I am having a wonderful time. Today was the first day. I flew in this morning and went right on into the conference, and we had a wonderful exchange of information. And the conference is for other breastfeeding counselors, and we were able to network and come up with some ideas and share ideas, and we had a wonderful presentation from the Leche League on their breastfeeding support groups. And so I've been thinking about doing this video, and I've been thinking about starting to do videos on breastfeeding. And so I did want to come, and one of the common things that we hear with the breastfeeding moms is all of their insecurities. And breastfeeding moms have a lot of insecurities, but new moms period have insecurities, and I think parents in general have insecurities. I mean, come on now, think about it. You are now responsible for another human being. Yeah, that's serious. I know my son is 17 and I'm still a little shaky. Like, I do. There's some days I pray and I'm like, Jesus, are you sure I was the right one for this? But every time my kid has a birthday, I celebrate because I'm like, I didn't break him, he's fine. So I do want to let parents know, especially my breastfeeding moms, that you are not alone. You are not the only one that has insecurities. So no, just because you're insecure, in my opinion, because you're questioning, you're like, oh, am I doing this right? I don't know if I did that right. I don't know if my baby's getting enough. Those are very common questions. That does not make you a bad parent. In my mind, that makes you a concerned parent. And that's a wonderful thing. A couple things as far as breastfeeding. All moms, for the most part, are concerned about, is their baby getting enough? And if you're feeding your baby at the breast, you don't have a bottle, to see how much your baby is getting. So you're going to have to be a little bit more creative about determining how much your baby is getting. It's not even so much how much the baby is getting, is the baby getting enough? And there's a couple things that you can do to measure, to kind of look for. When you put the baby on the breast, are you having nipple pain? If you are, then we need to fix your latch. That means maybe a simple position change. Maybe you're holding the baby up too high, or you're holding the baby too low, or just a simple switch, change, repositioning. And that's usually what it is in most cases. Sometimes it could be a little bit more serious, but that's when you ask for some help. How are your breasts feeling after the baby has been on your breast? Are they softer? Are they lighter? Do they feel like they're not as heavy? Those are all good signs, wonderful signs. Do you feel maybe some contractions in your breast? Maybe a little zap, a little lightning bolt? That can be a good thing. Because the ducts inside the breast, they have to contract to let the milk out. And for some moms, not all moms, and I was one of those moms, I felt the contractions in my breast tissue. And that was just my milk letting down, and it let me know that the milk was flowing, that the baby had gotten on the breast and stimulated it enough that the milk was flowing. Now, once you know the milk is flowing, you need to make sure that the milk is getting into the baby's tummy. And how you're going to look at that is very simple. Do you see some swallowing? Do you hear some swallowing? Sometimes for babies, if you have a lot of milk, you'll hear gulps. Everybody doesn't hear that, but if you hear gulping, you're doing good. If you hear swallowing and it sounds like a little gasp in the back of the baby's mouth, like that's swallowing, you're doing good. Can you see it? Sometimes you can see it in the baby's chin, you can see it going down the baby's throat. But that's determined like how your baby is shaped, how you're positioning the baby at the breast. I always like to show this to dads because they get a kick out of it, and it's a good way to get dads engaged into breastfeeding. And then another good thing is you're going to look at your wet and poopy diapers. Fun, huh? Yes. What goes in, it must come out. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't think my baby's getting enough to eat, but you're having tons of diapers, yeah, your baby's getting a lot of food, a good amount of food. I know a lot of moms, what they see is they see a diaper while the baby is at the breast, or sometime between the feedings, either right after, right before, or just sometime in between. You're doing good. You're doing excellent with that. And then also, how many times is the baby going to the breast? I like to see babies at the breast anywhere from 10 to 12 times a day. There's things such as growth spurts, and so there are times when those numbers may increase. Because your baby is eating more at the breast does not mean that your milk supply is low. It just means that your baby is hungry and wants to be at the breast. And then sometimes your baby just wants to be next to you. Sometimes if we wake baby up, or baby wakes up too soon, the only way the baby knows how to get back to sleep is going back to the breast. So he'll show you hunger signs because he's trying to go back to sleep. That does not mean that you don't have enough milk, that there's something going on with your milk, anything like that. So hopefully these things will help ease some of your concerns. But if they don't, and I understand for some of us we need to hear stuff several times, and that's okay. So listen to what I said, and then what I want you to do is I want you to call your breastfeeding counselor, your lactation consultant, your doctor, so you can get some information, ask your questions. Help is available to you. I don't want you to give up on breastfeeding, and I don't want you to think that you are lacking, that your milk is lacking, or that you just simply don't have enough milk, because in most cases that's not the case. So, and I am definitely a resource, so if you have a question, you can leave it below. You can send me a private message. So, yeah. So happy breastfeeding. Congratulations on your new bundle of joy. If you're like me and you have a big bundle of joy, I mean mine is way, way big. He's 17. But if you have a big bundle of joy, congratulations. Mommyhood is not easy. Daddyhood is not easy. Parenthood is not easy. But there's definitely a lot of joy and a lot of wonderfulness. So until next time, bye-bye.